The US president has issued a strongly worded warning to Israel against launching another attack on Iran, after Israel's defense ministry announced plans for intense strikes in response to an alleged Iranian ceasefire violation. US President Donald Trump says Israel and Iran have both violated the ceasefire, but that he was really unhappy with Israel. On social media, he called on Israel to stop dropping bombs and to bring your pilots home, now. Earlier, Israel's defense minister Israel Katz said he has ordered intense strikes on the Iranian capital, Tehran, after accusing Iran of violating a truce brokered by the United States and Qatar. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard after the time limit and now Israel is going out. These guys have got to calm down, he says, speaking to reporters before heading to the NATO summit in The Hague. He adds that he didn't like plenty of things he saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal, he says, referring to the ceasefire he announced earlier. They didn't have to unload. The president continues, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The warning comes after Trump announced a truce between Iran and Israel, which came into effect early this morning. Israel said it had agreed to the proposal, while Iran said it would stop attacking if Israel did the same. Israel's military subsequently said it had intercepted a missile launched by Iran. Tehran denied fresh attacks. The US president has accused both Israel and Iran of breaking the ceasefire he announced hours earlier. Israel has accepted the initiative for a bilateral ceasefire with Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced this. In connection with the achievement of the strategic goals of Operation People Like a Lion in Iran, and in full agreement with President Trump, Israel accepted his initiative for a bilateral ceasefire, the head of the Israeli government noted. Netanyahu thanked the United States for its defense support and participation in eliminating the Iranian nuclear threat and added that if the agreements are not respected, Israel will respond decisively to any violation of the ceasefire. Israel has achieved all the goals of the military operation against Iran, eliminating the threat in the nuclear and missile spheres, says Office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Before the announcement of a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, US President Donald Trump called Netanyahu demanding that all hostilities be stopped, since Tehran was already significantly weakened. No more war, no more fighting. The Iranians are significantly weakened, Trump said. The office of the Israeli Prime Minister noted that Israel agreed to Trump's proposal. At the same time, it was noted that Israel would decisively respond to any violations of the ceasefire. The Prime Minister's office said Netanyahu will make an additional statement soon on the situation. Earlier on June 24, Iranian Press TV reported that the ceasefire had come into effect after 4 waves of Iranian attacks on Israeli territory. This information was subsequently confirmed by the American leader, who also called on both sides not to violate the truce. The ceasefire between Israel and Iran is permanent and will last forever, US President Donald Trump said, as reported by NBC News. I think the ceasefire between Iran and Israel is permanent. It will last forever, the head of the White House noted. Journalists also asked whether the fighting had ended completely, to which the American leader responded positively. According to Trump, Iran and Israel will never attack each other again. Trump has called on the parties involved in the Middle East conflict not to violate the current ceasefire. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, the American president said on Truth Social. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah ousted by the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Mohammad Reza Shah, claimed that U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities were a result of catastrophic pursuit of nuclear weapons by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's terrorist regime. He urged Khamenei to respond to American attacks by stepping down from his position for the sake of the Iranian people. Maryam Rajavi, the leader of the People's Mujahideen, which is outlawed in Iran, said in separate statements that Khamenei must quit after over a week of war between Iran and Israel. The whereabouts of Khamenei, who has led the country since 1989, are unclear after Israel refused to rule out killing him. Now Khamenei must go, said Rajavi, saying that Khamenei's unpatriotic project had now all gone up in smoke. No to appeasement, no to war, and yes to regime change, changing the religious dictatorship by the Iranian people and the Iranian resistance, she said. Pahlavi, who is the figurehead for supporters of the ousted Iranian monarchy, said, "The only sure way to achieve peace is for this regime to now end. As Khamenei considers how to respond from his underground bunker, I say to him, for the sake of the Iranian people, respond by stepping down," he said. "The only sure way to achieve peace is for this regime to end now," he added. The Atlantic reported that U.S. attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities on June 22 have intensified open debates in Tehran about the future of the country and whether Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei should remain in power. A few days before the U.S. intervention, 2 sources involved in the discussion said that a group of Iranian businessmen, political military and senior clerics had begun to develop a plan to rule Iran without Khamenei. The plan is being prepared in the event of either the death or removal of the 86-year-old leader, the source noted. According to the Iranian constitution, the Assembly of Experts, which consists of 88 clerics, must vote to remove Ali Khamenei from office, but such a vote is unlikely to be held under current circumstances. Iranian sources say the leader could also be removed informally, for example by pressuring him or convincing him to hand over power to a temporary successor. According to the publication, the authors of the plan, the leaders of a steering committee consisting of several high-ranking officials, agreed to reach an agreement with the United States to seize power and stop Israeli attacks. Details include the key role of former President Hassan Rouhani, who was not involved in the discussions, on the steering committee, and the regular contact of some relevant military officials with their counterparts from major powers, seeking support for changing Iran's course and the composition of the government. One person involved in the talks told The Atlantic, "They are talking to the Europeans about the future of Iran. Everyone knows that Khamenei's time is up. Even if he stays in office, he will have no real power."